This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think, being a sophomore and being young, I just felt blessed and accomplished. I know us three are honored to be a part of this team. And I think ultimately, guys are going to look towards us because we've been here. We have so many new guys. And so, we're honored to be able to hold that title.
Yeah, for me, very blessed and honored as well. I guess now I'm kind of an older guy being a junior here, but being in the program 1 year it just means a lot. We had a lot of guys leave last year, and for all the new guys that come in and vote me, Stovall, and Zach Morris as captains, it's a great honor.
Peyton, Coach Van Horn has talked a lot about just the pressure that you felt last season because of all the hype around you. Do you feel like that pressure is kind of off this year, and what kind of weight does that lift off your shoulders?
Yeah, for sure. I think I put too much pressure on myself last year and just had unrealistic expectations of myself, and ultimately it caused me to fail. But I thought it was good for me. I needed that, and everything that I went through last year, it only made me stronger for the postseason and going into this year. And so, I'm looking forward to this year. I like to kind of go fly under the radar per se, just go out there and just play some baseball and not think about that at the end of the game or at the end of the day. I kind of look at it as just a game and just having fun. So I for sure definitely think that there's some pressure that's lifted off.
Jace, Dave said that you were kind of fed up after how last year went. I was just curious for your side of going into this year after everything that happened last year.
Yeah, I'm very excited, especially being a captain. The guys are going to look up for me to lead this team. Last year was a freak deal. It happens. Sometimes it's just baseball, and everyone has their own journey. And I'm just really excited to get on the season and play and go win games and get to Omaha and hopefully win the last game of the season.
Peyton, Dave was in here talking about how important communication is with the infield and kind of getting to know some guys. And you've obviously got a lot of new faces that you're playing around and in a new position. Just how do you feel that dynamic has played out so far as you're kind of getting to know some of these guys and getting more comfortable with them?
Yeah, I think, everybody, we came in here, it took probably a month just to know everybody's name, just because there's so many new guys. But I think just knowing more or just having so much newer guys and so many spots open, I think it goes for better practices and competitions, a lot better practices are really up. The energy is awesome, and so it makes for really tough competitive practices. But the dynamic has been great this fall. The chemistry of this team and the camaraderie of this team has been unbelievable. I mean, everybody hangs out with everybody off the field. There's a lot of stuff we do. We always go eat together. We go to football games together, basketball games together. So I'm looking forward to this season with a bunch of new guys.
Jace, kind of along those same lines, the outfield's got a lot of new faces as well. Mason and Tavian and Jared. What can Arkansas fans expect from them? What are your impressions of them so far?
Yeah, different personalities for sure, but all really good players. All have different tools that they show and display. Tavian's really fast. Mason's really fast. Wegner's got a lot of pop. I mean, he can also run a lot too. But yeah, kind of piggybacking off what Peyton was saying, with the communication and the competitiveness, it takes a little bit getting used to, obviously. But I know if Peyton comes out to right field and wants a calling for ball, obviously he wants me to call him off, and so he trusts me and he knows me that I'll come catch that fly ball. So stuff like that, building that with the other outfielders, with Tavian, Mason, and Jared, that's going to be crucial.
Peyton, Dave said that late in the season you talked, and did that have an impact on kind of loosening up after that? And also, how much second base have you played in your life?
Yeah, so I've played second base for pretty much as long as I can remember. I've always either played short or second, but second I'm more comfortable at. I played there. I started 3 years there in high school, and so I'm definitely comfortable there. But yeah, me and Coach Van Horn, kind of during that stretch, that 2 weeks I didn't play, we sat down and, at kind of around that time is really when I was putting so much pressure on myself that, it kind of got to a point to where I didn't even feel like like baseball is fun to me, and that's something as a baseball player that it's meant to be played for fun. And we sat down and we had a great conversation. And during those 2 weeks, it made me realize like, hey, this is just a game. It's just meant to be played for fun. And I know I use that word fun a lot in baseball because that's how it's meant to be played. And you're at your best when you're having fun and playing carefree. And so we sat down and he talked to me, and I told him I was going to continue to work as hard as I could, and ultimately I wanted to. He said that he believed in me and continued to believe in me, and he was still going to give me plenty of opportunities. And fortunately for me, I was able to have success down the road, and I think a huge part of that played into that meeting that I had with Coach Van Horn.
For both of you guys, Dave talked about how it's probably the deepest pitching staff he's ever had. I'm curious from y'all's perspective, just how tough it is to go against those guys.
Yeah, I think our pitching is extremely deep. We have guys like Hagan and Cody and Hunter and Wiggins and guys like that all those guys could start, but you can only start 3 guys on the weekend. And so, we're going to have options to choose from. And, you have guys like Will who are coming back who pitched phenomenal for us down in the postseason and down late in the stretch last year. But I'm excited to see our pitchers. We're doing some live at-bats today, and we got some dudes that we got to face, and it's going to be tough, and it should be tough because that means it's going to be tough for other batters and teams. And so I'm looking forward to those guys pitching this year for us, and we also have a lot of new guys too. Gage Wood sticks out to me. He pitched phenomenal yesterday. I think he faced 4 batters, struck out all 4. He's a freshman. He's super ultra talented, has really good stuff, and there's other guys that I can name, but I'm really looking forward to watching them be able to pitch this year.
Yeah, just the pitching staff, like you said, it's very deep. Having a conversation, the exit meeting with Coach Van Horn, just about the pitching. Like Peyton named some of those pitchers off. They could be starters, they could be relievers, they could be closers. Like I'm not even sure like they know what they want to be yet. And so that's kind of like just talks about how deep and good they are, because they all have a lot of talent, they all have good stuff. But like Peyton said, there's only 3 spots on the weekend. So whoever gets those spots, we all know they're going to go out there and pitch their best, and we believe in them. And then if they're not, they're going to come in and shut them down. So.
Yeah, Dave talked about Wiggins having, being particularly tough. We all know he's got an electric arm, but he's had control issues at times. What have you guys seen from him? Maybe the improvements he's made in particular.
Yeah, I mean this fall, man, he was lights out. I mean, like you said, he's uber talented. He's got an unbelievable fastball, and he really took a step this fall. I thought just really commanding the zone, throwing his off speed for strikes, just keeping the hitters off balance. I mean, he was virtually unhittable.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Jay said. I remember seeing him, and I'm only faced him a couple times, but I especially remember facing him in that fall classic when we faced each other, and he was the starter for the other team, and I just remember seeing him, and I think the first pitch he threw to me, got on me quick, and I'm kind of shaking my head like, and this dude, he looks different, and so we're excited to have him, and he's been grinding in the weight room. He's doing stuff extra, and so we're really looking forward to seeing him make this jump this year. And kind of going off what Jay said about commanding, I think the big thing that sticks out to me with him is he commands his off speed. That's what he's done exceptionally well in the fall. So I'm looking forward to continue and for him to build on that.
Hey, Peyton, going back to second base, you got to play beside Robert Moore all year last year. What are some things you took away from his game that you think you can benefit from?
Yeah, I think, just the amount of work that he put in, there's a reason. It's not a fluke that he won. He was the best second baseman in college baseball last year. I mean, he would stay hours and hours just to take ground balls. And, just kind of seeing that, and that pushes me to know like that's how good I want to be. And just having him as a mentor out there, all the time. I played first last year, obviously, but I'd take ground balls at second too. Because I think I played like 2 games midweek when he got a rest day, and so I'd go out there with him and I'd practice with him, and he taught me a lot. He told me just how to keep my composure, just little things like that. Moves to my left or right that could make me just a step faster, which is huge in baseball. And so just little things like that. I can't thank him enough for what he's done.
For both you guys, Dave mentioned it a few minutes ago, the talent and experience around the SEC this year. I'm curious just how you guys are approaching that this year.
Yeah, I mean, the talent and experience of everyone coming back, I talked about it earlier. We just lost a lot of our guys, veteran guys. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. And I've talked to Brady Slavens about this when we were eating at one restaurant around here. And we're talking about how we have a lot of new faces around this locker room. They've all played college baseball, but the SEC is like a different type of conference. And so me and Brady are trying to like think of ways like how can we get our teammates ready to face this SEC competition and not get so sped up in the moment the first couple of weekends so we can just get off to a hot start. And so it's definitely going to be a challenge with all the good teams around the conference. It's going to be very fun though, just competing against them.
Yeah, I think kind of what Jay said. I think the SEC is going to be it's going to be just a dogfight week in and week out, and it's going to be fun. I think the pitching's going to be up from what it was last year. There's going to be some dudes on the mound that we're going to face, and dudes that we have that other teams are going to face, and it's going to be fun. I think the SEC West has probably it's the toughest division in all of baseball, and so ultimately I think that's why we had success as well down the road in the postseason, was because of the conference and the schedule that we faced in conference play, and so we're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to compete, and there's no other better way to get that started than facing three really good teams in our three opening games.
So what ideas have you guys come up with to let the newcomers understand the SEC before you actually start playing SEC games?
Yeah, I don't know. It's still brainstorming. The only thing I can guess is just kind of talk about personal experiences from what we've experienced. And, there's really two to four players last year on the offensive side that actually got to play in all the SEC stadiums and experience that atmosphere. I'm sure Peyton can attest to all the tough crowds we played against, and we're going on the road versus a lot of good SEC West teams this year. So that's going to be a big jump for not only me, but also for the guys that are coming in as well. But at the end of the day, I think that you can really tell someone from your personal experiences, kind of get them prepared to what to expect when you go into someone's stadium and they're booing you and everything else, and the lights get a little brighter. But yeah, I think that's just kind of our job to kind of prepare our teammates that way.
Yeah, I think there's going to be times where guys mess up because I did it a ton last year as being young. There's moments that do get too big, and that's just part of the game. I think going in and having that experience now, I think ultimately just telling guys at the end of the day, like I've always said, it's baseball. Just have fun, just play like you always have, and I know it's tough to do sometimes, but just slowing the game down, relax, and taking huge deep breaths, and at the end of the day, just staying confident, whether it's in the field or in the batter's box. That's ultimately what's going to carry you to have success, and so just staying relaxed and just playing stress-free is all we can try to tell these guys.
Going back to the pitching staff, it sounds like y'all added a couple of JUCO guys that are expected to have a big role in Cody Adcock and Hunter Holland. I'm curious what your thoughts and impressions are of them after going through the fall with them.
Yeah, I thought they were extremely good. I faced Hunter more than I did Cody, and Hunter's got kind of like a funky delivery, and he's low to mid 90s from the left side, and the thing with Hunter, with really both of them, they can throw 3 or 4 pitches in any type of count for strikes, and that's extremely tough to face as a batter. And and so I think what really stands out to me between them two is their work ethic. They come in here, they're some of the first people to be in here and some of the last to leave. I know the pitchers lift before us, and so we lift after them, and so an hour and a half, 2 hours by, and all the pitchers are left or have left, and Cody Adcock's still up here. He just wants to be around here. He wants to be around this program, this facility, his teammates, just everything. And so I'm looking forward to those. I think those guys are going to have 2 really huge years for us. I'm excited to watch them pitch.
Yeah, Hunter Holland, for a left-handed batter, that's just a tough at-bat. And like Stovall said, just the funkiness, how it comes out from the side. Looks like it's coming behind you and then ends up right on the middle, and you freeze and you strike out. I think that just tells you how tough an at-bat that's going to be for other players that are going to have to face him. And then with Cody, right-handed pitcher, the thing that stands out to me when I face him is he spots up really well with his fastball. He's throwing it right there on the black. He's not getting anything over the white. He's going to be a tough pitcher to hit with mixing all his pitches, like Stovall said earlier, throwing them in any count he wants to. So I think those are 2 guys that are really going to help us down the stretch for sure.
And one more pitcher I was going to ask about is Cody Frank, the transfer from Nebraska. What are your impressions of him? What does he bring to the table?
Yeah, so I actually faced him yesterday when we had some live at-bats, and I think he ended up throwing 26 pitches to 3 different batters, and he did not throw one pitch over the heart of the plate, and still had I want to say 2 strikeouts out of the 3 or 4 batters that he faced. He spots up unbelievably well. There's nothing that he has thrown that was over the plate, even really in the fall. But you can just tell, he's an older guy. He's a veteran guy. He's been here before, and he does things the right way. He comes in, gets his work done, and he's very poised out there. He's very relaxed, and stuff doesn't get to him. And so, we're excited to be able to watch him pitch for us this year. We're excited for him.
Yeah, he's a really good pitcher, obviously. Yesterday, watching some of our hitters face him, he plays to his strengths. He's going to sink the ball. He's going to keep it in the bottom of the zone. He's going to try to make you chase, and then the balls that you think are down or lower, they're like at the bottom of the zone, you strike out. So I think that just kind of like what Stovall was talking about, a veteran guy, very poised out there. He knows how to take care of his business, and he's going to be a big part for us for sure.
We've heard a couple times now from Dave that Tavian Josenberger has been a leader, in the locker room with the team. From y'all's perspective, how is he being a leader, and just what's it like having him on the team?
Yeah, I think the kind of thing that stands out to me with Tavian is, he goes in that weight room, and he's not one of the bigger guys on our team, but he does everything right in the weight room. He is, he does it cleanly. He doesn't rush anything, and guys gravitate towards that. There's a couple freshmen that watch him work out, and it pushes them. And I think that's a huge thing, just getting stronger with Hunter and stuff. But Tavian's really taking it to another level as being a leader for a team he's never played for. And, he leads by example a lot more than he does talking. And, I'm excited for him. I think he's going to have a really great year for us. And, with the speed that he has and being able to switch, being able to hit from both sides, he's a perfect prototypical leadoff batter. And, he's going to see a bunch of pitches. We haven't seen pitching since the fall, and in first at bat he goes in there of the day and has like a 11 pitch at bat. It was insane. And so, he stepped up and in that leadership role, and I'm looking forward to watching him on the field this year.
Yeah, the only thing I think to add to that is just the guys love him because his energy he brings to the field each and every day. Everyone kind of gravitates to him to talk to him, to get hype, about whatever. But I think Stovall said everything about that was pretty spot on.
And then I believe you guys went to the Cape Cod League together. Just kind of talk about that experience of getting to go together.
Yeah, so we roomed together in the Cape with our host family, and it was awesome. We were exhausted, and we made it so far down the stretch in Omaha, and I was kind of hesitant to go just because I was so tired. But once I got there, I didn't want to leave. It was awesome. It was really fun, and it hitting with a wood bat against some of these guys that are the premier arms and just in all of college baseball. It only makes you better for competition that you're going to face rolling into next year. And so just being able to go out there and compete with those guys, you meet new guys, you hear their personal life, their personal stories, everything they went through during their last season. It was really fun, and I wouldn't mind going back there this next summer.
Yeah, it was very fun going out there, especially for my second year in a row, and obviously Peyton, living with him. But I think the Cape Cod League kind of teaches you a lot about yourself as a baseball player. When we just came literally from Omaha, where there's 20, 30,000 fans in the attendance, to going from like 500, which is a lot in the summer ball game aspect, but still it's a different atmosphere. There's no batter's eye. The fielding conditions aren't the greatest, and he didn't make one fielding error out there. He made a throwing error, but it was a tough play. They shouldn't have given it to him. But he didn't make one fielding error on those surfaces, which is so impressive to me, I thought. But it really just teaches you about just, how much do you love the game of baseball. You're out there in the summer. Sometimes it can be really hot. You got to find a different switch, different gear to get yourself ready to play that day. And really what all it's about is really about competing about yourself out there. Everyone else is tired. No one wants to be out there. You might take it lightly that day. But I think that really teaches you, how much do you love the game of baseball.
Question for both of you, and Jace, you can start. I know the season hasn't started, but if you were to be asked, what's the personality, what's the identity of this team this year? How would you guys answer that?
Yeah, I don't know if there's really an identity yet. I think we're still trying to figure that out because we're going to be doing a lot of different things on offense because it's not going to be like a typical offense like the Razorbacks have in the past where it's basically going to long ball you to death and we're going to get some extra base hits here and there. Now, I do think we'll still be doing that, but I think we're going to start doing different things to win ball games, manufacturing runs by hit and running, stealing bags, getting bunts down, all that different types of stuff, just moving runners over. We're not just going to sit there and try to hit the long ball every single time. So, I mean, from an offensive standpoint, I don't know if we really have an identity yet, but we're going to be very, very deep in the lineup. We're going to have a lot of guys doing different things that are going to come in and help us out. On the pitching side, you guys have kind of talked about it earlier. I mean, we're going to be very deep. We're going to have a lot of tough pitchers to, like face or whatever. And I think that's going to be – I mean, we're going to strike you out. We're going to make plays behind you. So I think our pitching staff is going to be phenomenal this year. But as a team, I don't really know. I think we're all still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I think the word that comes to mind for me is like gritty and grit. Kind of like I was speaking about with Cody pitching yesterday, the first 3 batters that he faced. He only got to go through 3 batters. And, 99.9% of us haven't seen live pitching since our last fall pitch that we had. And we go out there and he pitches 25 pitches between 3 batters. And it's the first at-bats that we've seen. And, just counts like that, working pitch counts, just grinding it out. I think that's one word that comes to mind for me in this offense is just really gritty. And like Jay said, I think we're going to steal some bags this year. I think we're going to be able to move guys over at a high success rate. Just little things like that ultimately you have to do to win baseball games at this level. And so, yeah, I think that gritty is probably, as of right now, that's probably going to change. But, I'd probably say that'd be an identity of ours.
That's a good word right there. I like that.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.